I'm a very passionate, I consider myself as a kind person. I'm growing in that field, and a very fluid person. I'm quite tax-oriented when you bring it to my professional side, but I also a bit competitive because I want to win most of the time. I am a leader that gets myself into the work. So I work with my team. I love to coach. I love the opportunity to guide people. And I love having fun. I believe that it's not all about work. And whatever you're doing, you need to make it fun. You need to love it. Just so that people will see the joy in what you are delivering. So in a nutshell, since you're asking me this in a professional setting, I'll say this is me. Maybe when you talk to my mother, she will describe me differently, but I think she did a wonderful job. Interesting. In my spare time, so before 2020, I would say I would rather read, and then if I get opportunity to dance, though I'm not a good dancer, I'll dance. But I was also noted to be quite a workaholic. So I love ensuring that everything that I'm doing is towards work one way or the other. But I became a fitness fanatic, or I love going to the gym, walking, running. That routine in my life has become one of the things that I do in my spare time. And 2021, I decided that, okay, every year I'll try and do something that I'm afraid of and conquer a fear. Hence, I did Kilimanjaro in 2022. I practiced towards, in 2022, I'm practicing towards something. So now it's more about adventure. So I'd rather put myself into doing, in my spare time, I research on things that is a bit adventurous. I also try to do things that I know I'm uncomfortable with. So, so it's about using my spare time to learn, using my spare time to be impactful. And this is after I have had fun. But yeah, that's what I do. At my age now, I would take any opportunity to be with young girls. And I'm talking about teenagers. And I think it's one of my deepest regrets. It's me not spending a lot more time with young girls that I consider or see myself in as my younger self, and making sure that we put them on the path, because we are there, right? We've been through what they are going through, and sometimes they don't know what is ahead of them. They don't know the power they have. They don't know the opportunities they have. They don't know the voice they possess, and they don't know that the world they live in is their oyster to take. So any opportunity that I will get to spend time with young teenagers is what I want to do. I also, it might sound a bit cliche, but I'm more about impact, and impact as in making sure that whatever I do goes to the root cause, that the person will not, or the community or whatever I'm doing will not, or whoever I'm impacting will not just be relying on me, but being able to empower the person such that when I'm not around, or I'm not even given again, the person will still be able to take care of herself and the family. more about the multiplier effect when it comes to impact. So any opportunity that I get to do that is also an opportunity that I relish. So it's about spending time with young girls and then helping the people or impacting the lives. Sometimes it's not just about money, monetary resources, but just talking, paying attention to people, making someone know that you recognize them, you hear them, you see them. That's what matters to me now. My career began after sixth form. I had to stay home for 1 year. And I have this auntie who used to work at Barclays Bank then. Came home, because all I was doing at home at Joel then was just reading books, sleeping. I was doing nothing, and I had just finished school because I had to stay home for 1 year. I had done my national service. So she came and said, I have seen an advert in the Daily Graphic. Standard Chartered Bank said they are looking for cashiers or something, or tellers. So you should apply. And I was actually waiting to go to university because I had applied to KNUST, Legon. So I was just waiting at home to go to school. But anything, at that point I was so bored that anything that could get me out of the house was enough for me. So I decided to apply. That was the only thing I did was I wrote an application letter. I didn't even have a CV because I didn't know what to put on the CV. And I went to Standard Chartered Clubhouse where their head office is now. And just when I got there were lots of people and there were boxes there. So I just dropped my CV, my application letter and left. Came home. I had forgotten about it. Remember, I'm just waiting to go to university. I'm just waiting. Weeks later, I got a call to come for an interview. And that was the beginning of my career in banking. Because banking wasn't one of the things that I wanted to do. I believe we have it, from being a flight attendant to I want to be a doctor, I want to be a hairdresser, I want to be a rock star, all the things where I was going through phases. At a point I knew I could write a book, everything. But banking, I saw it as too basic because then I saw banking as we just tell us. So I really felt, oh no, I could do things challenging than being in a financial sector. But my life changed when I had an interview, and I think I was born to do this, and I've loved everything about my job. So I've been a banker all my life. So my career started with Standard Chartered, and then after about 14 to 15 years of working there, I left and joined Standard Bank. I worked there for 9 years, and this year I joined this lovely institution, Access Bank, as an executive director for retail and digital. I think we've become more flexible now. It's also become, the world of work has also become more accepting in terms of allowing other people's views to thrive. Especially women, and we are in an institution, especially in my field, financial sector, when you look at that pyramid, from the base to the middle, lots of women. The moment you start getting to the peak of it, we start having a male dominance. So that was what I saw when I started work. I didn't think I could actually go past a branch manager then. But I look at it now, and I know we have women managing directors, we have women board chairs, and we have women leading regional institutions and multinationals. So diversity, inclusion, and like I said, we now the playing field is a bit more accepting, more broad towards everyone. And once you are knowledgeable, once you keep adding value to yourself, I think you will be granted opportunity to sit at the table. It wasn't like that when I started my career. So I see it evolving a lot. It's changing the worldviews. We still have a long way to go, but I think now there's more flexibility. There's more room for everyone to operate, and then it's more inclusive. There are a lot of collaborations going on, and there are other angles of working that at first. So workplaces now pay attention to the mental health of a worker. Let me say that. And we pay attention to certain behaviors that we believe affects the person, not in fact like what is affecting just the organization. So it's more fluid now, and though we have a long way to go, but I think we are on the right way. I would say being visible and not staying behind. So I used to say my work will speak for itself. Yes, it is. Your work has to speak for itself, but it's more than the work. You need to you belong to a team, so you can't just sit in your corner and just do your work. You need to be a great team player. Being a great team player, being visible, leading when the opportunity comes, and not just being behind and clapping and cheering, but be seen. I remember years back in Standard Chartered, I was given opportunity to just after school to be a teller. We used to call it branch assistant. So I was doing everything in the branch, but I got to go into a cubicle to be a teller. I actually loved going into the cubicle because I felt I was in my small comfort zone, and I was also not the comfort zone per se, but I was in it's just the depiction of what a cubicle is. This is my office, so I manage my affairs in that office, and so I liked the opportunity to serve, to hold a lot of cash, and I was doing this in University of Ghana, Legon branch. So interacting with the students, because I had just finished school, and I thought I understood them very, very well. So, and I'm a smart and a hard worker. So every corner and every opportunity that I got, every space, I tried to excel there. So I was really doing well. And at a point, my boss felt I had to move out to the next phase. And my job was there, like everybody knows what I do, and they know I am good with it. But then one person who was in our HR gave a feedback, and I thought I knew her, but she said, "Who is Pearl? We don't know her." And that really changed my perception, and it changed how it changed my way of work, and hence I said be visible, not just behind. Because the work is there, yes, Pearl is a good teller, customers say very good things about Pearl. Pearl takes she supports the team, she supports the branch. She's an all-inclusive person in the branch. We used to call me utility player. But beyond the branch I worked, they didn't know me. And that changed my perception, because I was working for a multinational. Then I think Standard Chartered was in about 55 branches, 55 countries. There were a lot of opportunities, and it's like that in the bank. You have the front, the back, data, IT. We do lots of projects. There are a lot of things that will not be your day-to-day work, but you need to bring yourself to support and work to expose you and to also help you to learn. And they didn't see me in any of this apart from being a very good teller. So it changed my perception about the world of work and the things that you need to do. And I believe that the reason why I might be here, like I'm here now, is because I decided to be seen, to be visible, and to get involved and to ensure that the space I am in, I am really aligned to the bigger vision, and I avail myself for the opportunities as and when they come. So I kept raising my hands anytime we need to do something, anytime a project has to be done, even if it's not in the area that I think I know or I'm an expert in. I raise my hand. I'll take up the challenge and then get it done. So I'm thankful to her. I love telling stories. So I think in 2018, I had a coach in my former shop, a very wonderful man who was my coach and who set me on a path. And it's just because at the point I was doing well. Remember now I take up projects, I take up things in regional roles and all those things. I was okay. And he asked me, what do I want to be in the next 5 years? And that question was one of the questions I never liked answering that question. When he asked me that question, the first thing I did was to confine myself into where I was. Remember, he's my coach and he's my boss's boss's boss. So I needed to inspire him, be honest, but also let it look like, you know what, I still want to be here, because that's why you are dedicating time and energy to groom me. But then he said, no, don't answer me. Go and think about it. He made me read the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Good to Great. Just like, think about all this, what you've read, and now come up with a good answer. So I went home for about 2 weeks. I was thinking, what do I want to be in 5 years? What do I want to be in 5 years? And my mind never went outside the bank. I was still thinking within the confines of the bank. We had our next meeting and he says, Pearl, I want you to consider the capital you have and say that, okay, with this capital that you have gained, and the capital is everything I've learned in my career, everything that I've gained, every knowledge I've gained, every struggles I've gone through, what it has taught me, opportunity I've taken and where it's taking me. And I should pick lesson, each one, what it taught me, outside saying it made me meet my target, it made me do this. What did it teach you? That actually changed how I write my CV. So he referred to it as capital. So he said, with this capital, how can that propel you to your next 5 years? So I came back and said, okay, now I want to define my career in a sentence. But in doing that, I also want to have someone in mind. So I had a woman, then in Standard Bank, she was the only woman, and that was in the representing Africa in the Standard Bank board. So Shola, that was her name. So, and I just pictured her and I said, I want to be her. But I defined the impact I want to create by having such a role. So I said I want to be a regional CEO for an African-based company overseeing 500 people and touching 2,000 lives. So that's how I define what I want to be in the next 5 years. And I still think that is how I'll define the next 5 years. What my coach told me was, think about your retirement. And let's say someone is reading your citation. What will be beginning sentence he or she will use. Today we are here to say thank you to Pearl, who has led. So that's what I have used to define what my next 5 years, because I want it to be who has led this business to where it is now, where now we started with 500 people and now we have 2,000 families, and we are in about 13 or 15 other countries, and we have managing directors in most of these countries being women. This is what I want to be. I struggle to answer this question, and it's because I think I never saw myself as a woman or a man kind of thing when I was working. See, maybe I might be one of the lucky ones, but I didn't place a limit on myself. So I found it, I don't think I noticed when people were treating me differently because of my gender. But there were few things that I knew because as I progressed in my career, and I started in a particular place I worked for 5 years. I think I was the only woman in a group of 6 who were like leaders in particular business, and for 5 years I was the only one. And there were things that, you know, sometimes you are treated in a certain way by women and by men, not because they are also being deliberate or they just singling you out because you're a woman, but because that's how we've been taught since we were kids. And I think that's why I never noticed, because growing up, there was nothing that made me, my grandparents never said, okay, because you're a woman, you have to do this. That gender play never was not in my home, in my house. We are all doing, you are ironing, you are weeding, you are cutting, like we're doing everything, and it's not because you're, so it really didn't play. But I noticed that you go to, you know, when you go for a meeting and you're the only woman, and it's like you automatically have to be the one that take the notes. When you are talking passionately, say, oh, stop being emotional. I'm yet to find a man being referred to as being emotional, apart from a woman. So those were the little things, until one day I woke, I just, in this particular place, I was like, listen, you never refer to, because we have other men who really can have an outburst, and you refer to that as passion. But when I'm talking, it's emotion. So can we start using the same language and say Pearl is also passionate? So I have a very, very good friend. He's a friend and a mentor who referred to me as Passionate Pearl because of that. So I don't think I had, but I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I know certain women are really facing a lot of challenges. I know most women, not certain, most women are facing challenges in their career or in their office just because of their gender. But I really didn't have that. And my job was also to identify women who are like that, who are going through that, and just let them know it's just a phase. Just let them know it's not personal. It's not about them, it's about the person who doesn't understand them. Once you are not stereotyping, don't bother about someone who was not brought up well and how the person is treating you. So those are the things. But I think one thing that I would say, that probably because I'm I'm a woman, like I've gone throughout my career, I would say it's been very difficult to be understood, because sometimes people, especially men, want to separate what you say and then juxtapose it with who you are in terms of your gender. So you are a woman or you are a woman. So whatever you say, they will pick it and put it in that and then change the meaning. And that for me bring a lot of distortion. So there are times that one of my greatest stress was that it was difficult for people to understand me. and I think it was because of the person, but it's fine. So I don't put limits on myself. I don't stereotype. I don't say because of I'm a woman I can't do this. No. I love challenges. So for me, it's not. I don't see it as I don't see it as negative. I see it as a positive, because I think without challenges, life would be very boring. So I consider most inventions that we have in this world now, because at a particular point in time, the inventor considered that as a challenge, and it's like, I need to conquer it. So I think challenges defines and redefines the kind of the world we live in. So, and that's me. If I come to work and everything is, I don't solve problems, I'm not speaking to someone or trying to fix something, I feel that day is quite a boring day. So I've confronted a lot of them, but I saw that as stepping stones. I saw most of these challenges that came my way as an opportunity to reinvent and redefine myself and to create something. And sometimes it's to draw attention to my team in terms of what we can do, what we can solve, and the things we can do to help the bigger goals of the organization. So that's how I consider most of the things that probably we consider as challenges, like being asked to do something within a day and I've not been given enough time. So the first thing will be like, wow, if I'm able to do this, then I'll become Pearl did this within this. Coming into a place where maybe your team's contribution to the bigger picture is very minute, so you are not seen. I'm like, okay, it's an opportunity to work to be seen, so the team will be recognized, and the team values and the teamwork and the people in the team who I see most of the time as quite intelligent, but just have not been given the opportunity to show what they can do. I see that, okay, there's an opportunity for us to be different. So yeah, that's how. So I'm still trying, as I'm talking, I'm still trying to figure out what really challenges that I've seen. And I think, it's because of the lens through which I see it. I see challenges as mostly positive, an opportunity to be different. So I find it difficult to pinpoint one. But if I bring it to like being a woman, I'm a mother, I have a 16-year-old son. And I gave birth at a point when I really thought my career was to take off. And I considered that, so since then I consider that as a plus. So when I went through a bit when I got pregnant, I had to be off from work for about 6 months. And for me, that was, I don't know whether at that point I can consider it a very challenging moment, because here I was looking forward to be a mother, yet I was really, really struggling struggling with my fear of losing my job. Not that my job, they were going to sack me, but I believe where I wanted to be, by the time I come, I might not be there. And it was going to be difficult for me. It was really a very, very, that's a phase in my life that I felt that's one of the things that separates us from men. And that is the pause, that part of your life where you have to pause so you can do what biologically you are the only one that can do. And I believe that's one of the challenges that most women who want to advance in their career go through. But once you are very relentless and you're quite strong and you don't give up, you can bounce back. Sometimes with the organization that you work for, they will support you, because they did that for me. I came back after like 9 months being away, and everything continued, and I have the best of both worlds. I don't think you can have a balance. It's not easy to have a balance in life. at each point in time, something has to give. I look at balance as putting something on a scale and it's not tilting. But then it means everything is perfect. I don't have that though. So I don't know if it exists where everything is perfect. So at each point in time, it depends on what is of value to you and the level of tilt. That's what I would consider as balance. I think I mentioned when I had to pause to give birth to my son. After that, balancing motherhood and work wasn't easy, but it got to the point where I realized when I'm home, I have to be home. I have to pay attention. When I'm at work, I have to pay attention. So I think I'll be one of the mothers that I used to have a lot of guilt because though I was supposed to close at 2, I used to get home like 7 p.m. because I'm working. And I'll get home and then I'll just go and pick my son and I'm like, oh goodness, why are you not staying home? It wasn't early. At first it was, then when my son was 9 months, I decided to go back to school. I was doing my MBA at Legon and I was working at Adabraka. So I'll close from work, go to school, then go and pick my son from Jowlu. And at times I get home like 10 p.m. and this boy is in my house. Like, what is this? You are such a bad mother. What is this? What are you chasing? Why can't you just stay home? Why can't you do this? So a lot of things were going through my mind then. And it was all because we have self-imposed this balance. I need to make sure everything is working. But I think at a point when my son was around 6 years and my job was also taking me out of the country a lot, the guilt started again. But one day I came back and, Mommy, what did you bring? And I was like, I did this. And I told him the ability to buy you all these things, does it give you joy? Say, yeah, I'm happy. Say, yeah, then we are fine. If I don't work, we won't have it. But on a more serious note, the most important thing is ensuring that at each point in time, what is of value, what is important, is taking the greater part of that scale. So like I said, when I'm home, when we are on holidays, all my attention, if I'm from my friends, family, I need to ensure that work is not interfering. And when I'm at work, I need to make sure that I'm putting my all towards the goals of the organization, and I'm really working for the aspirations of the organization. I'm giving my time, my attention, my dedication. So it's difficult to balance, but let what is of value determine what goes into the greater part of the scale. So I don't believe in balance because you can't have it. It feels great, but I think for me, it's how many others will come after. It takes like a week to forget the first, but then later it's more about the others that come after. Because yes, the first executive director in Access Bank, I believe it shouldn't be the last. That's what is important. So I shouldn't be the last woman, and I think there should be more women, especially that's in Ghana, who occupy the executive director role, even maybe more. I'm very, very happy. I was really excited when the board chair of Access Bank was when the nomination came out, the appointment came out, and it was one of the women that I revere and one of the women I respect most. So it feels great, but I think our work is cut out for us. Create more women to take up the top roles in the financial sector. I lead the retail transformation in Access Bank. I also, so my role is retail and digital. So the digital transformation of the bank is also one of my core responsibilities. In retail, it means solving for all the journey points of individual and small businesses, and ensuring that we create that digital, so there's digitalization, and digital transformation. So that is changing your process from paper to paperless, making sure people can have access to banking and financial solutions on whatever tool they are holding themselves, and then ensuring that they use that tool to seamlessly communicate with the bank. So this is basically what I'm doing. Working with my wonderful team and stakeholders to ensure that we change the retail landscape in Ghana by providing all the financial needs and all the financial needs that touches the life events of individuals and small businesses, from lending, from seamless transactions, end-to-end service, exceptional service delivery, and also collaborating with other partners and fintechs to deliver these financial services seamlessly to the retail population. So that's what I do here. My favorite part of my job is interacting with my team, and also creating products and solutions for customers. Some of these solutions that we're creating now will not be seen as the traditional ways of banking, and that's what I love about retail banking. And we come up with these solutions with other partners. So that whole ecosystem, problem solving and product design is what I love about my job. But I have a very wonderful team that I look forward to meeting every day, because there's never a dull moment in this place. The data will show that in Ghana, when it comes to financial inclusion, in terms of people who have access to transact, not bank accounts per se, but to be able to perform a financial transaction, I think we have about 98%, sorry. And it's just because of the disruption that we've seen in the financial sector, with telcos, fintechs, new banks, all coming into the banking ecosystem. So now, almost every Ghanaian have a way of sending money or receiving money. But the part where we are not doing well is the lending. So I think about just 12% of this population that I talk about, that we consider maybe the bankable population, have access to lending. So what I believe I will consider as being able to make an impact in the field where is when this, at least we're able to match this same percentage to the people who have access to the financial in terms of an account. So I believe we should be able to create more micro lending support. We should be able to support small businesses and not just through giving them loans, but supporting them in ways to put these loans into their business, to create that multiplier effect, to create more businesses in the country. I also believe that we should be able to, I will also be very happy, and I consider it as one of the strategies I've set for my team and myself, is how many youth entrepreneurs that we create through the products and the solutions that we come up with, and also how many women businesses that we support to move from micro stage to at least even the medium enterprise stage. So all in all, I believe if we are able to create more avenues and more deliberate and seamless avenues for people to access lending, and for them to build the capacity to input this investment back into their business to thrive, then I believe we'll be making a better impact in my chosen work. I think my first answer to young people who want to be like me is, don't be like me. Be more, be better than me. Because that's the only way that we can keep the wheels of this world going. But one lesson will be to be very resilient, because we are in a world that if you are not resilient, you will quit. So be more resilient, find a strategy, have values, and live by it. And I think we need to be kind to each other and hold a hand. Thank you.